Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Please share out this show, A Mexican Crossing Lines, with your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp
and Duke Gomez-Schempp.
You are listening to 88.1 FM, KPPPLP, Fargo, Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. And tonight, on Mexican Crossing Lines, April Fool's Day, April 1st, we're going to be talking about suspected caravan organizers, coordinators, and media. Now, tonight's news is going to focus on something that everyone is talking about on the interwebs right now, and you may have seen it on Oscar El Blue Ramirez's page, or Abusados, or Border Network News, or you might have seen it elsewhere. I will tell you that it was originally published on March 11th, so it's not exactly new information, but a lot of people are only talking about it right now.
And it's news to me.
It's news to you, yeah. It is. It was news to a lot of people, so we're going to talk about it in depth. You know how we do it here, like investigative style, so we can explain to you what are some of the connections. I'm going to break down one or two people tonight. Specifically, I am talking about more information that we received. This information was posted on Alfonso Guerrero-Ulloa's Facebook page, along with a portion of a list of people that are part of that database that was leaked to San Diego 7 News of organizers of the caravan, of media people, even clergy are on this list, that are associated in one way or another with Pueblos Sin Fronteras, the caravans, and specifically two incidences that happened where Border Patrol officials were attacked and or hit with rocks or had a violent clash with people from the caravan at the border, specifically on New Year's Eve, January 1st was one of the nights.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one was on December 25th, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't it like so. Right around Christmas?
Yeah.
There was a previous very violent clash where it was like, but that one was on during the day, and it was like November 20-ish. Anyway, these two second times that happened more recently, one on New Year's Eve and one on December 25th, I believe, or 26th, right around there, were the reason why this database of people that have been questioned, put into secondary screening when they crossed the border and had their visas revoked and or canceled and or their fast sentry passes, their fast passes, pre-checked people that used to be able to just whiz through a airport line or go through borders and customs enforcement checkpoints at the border walkway. Now, have to go through the whole process of getting checked like everybody else.
Yeah, like the rest of us, you know.
Like the rest of us. But they're also on a list, these folks. They're on a list, which is why some of them aren't traveling anymore, which is why so many of them have posted about it, and even members of Congress are getting involved and asking, one of them being Senator Merkley, there he is again, asking why. They want to know why all of these journalists and organizers and people connected to the caravan support groups are being questioned, are being investigated. And this list that we're going to talk about tonight is that list. But we haven't seen everyone on the list. Some people have put out the information that they checked and, yep, they were on the list. Some of those people were with the Caravan Support Network. Some of those people are in the leadership of Pueblos Sin Fronteras. Some of them are associated with other organizations within the Caravan Support Network, like Border Angels. We've talked about many of the folks that I think are either in that list because they've posted about it, or people affiliated with these organizations that are in the list. And tonight we're going to talk about more of them because this document was released. I'll let Duke give you a peek at it, just a little peek, because we're going to get into it in a little bit more detail in a minute. But this is a little bit more of that list that is from the San Diego Sector Foreign Operations Branch about the migrant caravan for the year 2019. And it is titled Suspected Organizers, Coordinators, Instigators, and Media. So we're going to go through this list in a minute, and we're going to talk about a couple of the people that we'll do a deeper dive into tonight from this list. And those people, well, both of them really stem from one of the last people on this list that Duke just let you peek at, whose name is actually cut in half. Mm-hmm. But I knew already who the name belonged to because I already had a little database going on this person. Her name is Elena Beth Alderman, who's listed on the document as an instigator and one of the people that has been interviewed or will be interviewed by Homeland Security. Okay? So, her and a guy named Carlos David Cuevas, excuse me, Carlos David Cuevas, oh my God, I forgot his last name. Anyway, Carlos David Cuevas, who we will be talking about tonight, is somebody that I had already told you about before that had been deported and accused of smuggling humans across borders and was questioned by Interpol. And I told you that based on the fact that these folks were connected, the San Diego Leaked 7 database, and this other story that Homeland Security Director and Olga Sanchez de Cordero talked about that involved Pueblos Sin Fronteras being investigated by the Interpol, the Homeland Security, the FBI, and others in this joint investigation about human smuggling and human trafficking. This kid, I told you, was one of the people that was investigated, deported, and had his status in Mexico revoked. He was revoked of his status. He had like a permanent residency thing in Mexico. They ripped it up at the border before they deported him to Honduras. And that's it. He's gone. 24-year-old kid. 24, 26. I can't remember exactly. I talked about it before in another show, but we talked about him as being David. David, because... And where did you put that last one that I put in? The very last thing that I put in. Oh. Pueblo Éxodo. Okay. It was Carlos David Cueva Ramirez. That's his full name. He was referred to as David. And because I kind of memorized his name as David, not as Carlos, and he's referred to throughout this article about as Cuevas Ramirez, I didn't make the immediate connection. So this is a group that was posted about by Pueblo Éxodo. Pueblo Éxodo complains about Carlos Cuevas. It's in this 9th scene. We'll show that to you tonight. So buckle up because we're going to do a deeper dive and it's going to give you a much better understanding of how these groups work together and what they do. But first, I want to thank folks that have been sending me this information, that are reporting on it, that are sharing it, and all of you who have helped crowdsource information for our work in reporting and exposing these people. Duke, how can people get a hold of us? Oh, and by the way, those of you who have already donated to my efforts to get to San Diego to do a joint report on the fake activism of some of these caravan organizers and the truth about the caravan. I'm going to be doing that report in San Diego, hopefully, I will be able to raise the money to go there and do this. You can go to kpppfm.com. Duke, you have a special link for that, don't you?
Yeah, I just posted it.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So for those of you who have already donated and for those who will donate off of this request, thank you. And please share that. Duke, how can folks get a hold of us?
Well, there's many ways, and we do appreciate all the people who have been sending us information and crowdsourcing the info, and some stuff comes in like minutes before we start the show. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate that, and I'll tell you different ways you can send the information. One of the most popular, of course, is Facebook, 88.1 FM Fargo-Moorhead on Facebook. We have a couple of other Facebook pages, too, the People's Press Project and Mexi-Can. You can also do old-fashioned email, Cindy at kpppfm.com, or me, Duke at kpppfm.com. If you want to tweet at us, you can go to @media_ppp. And go to kpppfm.com. That's our main website where we put the shows up. We take the videos, of course, and we put them in high definition, put them on YouTube. If you want to join our YouTube channel, it's Duke1517 on YouTube. Just type in Duke1517 and my name will come up, Duke Gomez-Schempp. And on that channel, we have stuff dating back to like 10 years ago, but the most current stuff is the Mexican Crossing Line shows. Every night we put the show up after we are done broadcasting and on Facebook. And also when you go to kpppfm.com, you'll see our audio podcasts, and many of them go on the local radio here because we are a non-commercial, non-profit, community-run radio station, an FM radio station. It took us a long time to put this together, and we're a non-profit, and that's why we're asking for funding to help get Cindy to San Diego. So if you go to kpppfm.com/donate, right at the top, you'll see a post on there explaining the trip, what it's about, and we need to raise enough money to get her there. We live way up here in the north. We're almost at Canada. We're so far away from Mexico and San Diego. We're on the other side of the country, way up north. So, flights are expensive, and it's really tough to drive, 2 days, 3 days to get there. So we're trying to raise money so we can get Cindy there. So go to kpppfm.com/donate. And I posted the link here in the comments that you can go directly to that post and read about what she is trying to accomplish and having her mug dealing with the caravan frauds and bringing the information to a group of people that'll spread it around the country and around the world. So we really appreciate the people who have been sending us information. We try to use it. We bank it. We bring it up. We go back to it. It helps with our research. We would not be able to do this work if it wasn't for you people out there who are participating and working with us. So we really, really, really appreciate that people are working with us and sending us information. Some of the stuff today, we didn't see it till this morning. And then now we're researching it, and there were so many names that we couldn't go through every single name before we went on the show tonight. And as Cindy said, she's picked a couple to start researching. If you see names on there and you want to share information, send us the information about the names you see, because they aren't that easy to find. These people are hiding themselves or hiding their information because they've been up to no good. They've been up to manipulation and causing a stir in several countries, multiple countries internationally, and they need to be stopped, and you can be part of that. So please keep on communicating with us. And those of you out in our radio land and in the Fargo-Moorhead area, if you want to give us a call and leave a message, you can also do this too. You don't have to be in the local area. We have a message line, 701-566-0917, 701-566-0917. It's just a way if you want to leave, your lovely voice and a voicemail to us, or your mean voice if you want to complain. You can talk to us directly, and it'll be recorded. And then we also, we may play it on the air. Sometimes we do that, and sometimes we don't. But we definitely go back and listen to them all. It's a good way to try to get us to communicate with you. And thank you very much for everybody who has been sending us information and participating at the level that you're doing, because you are part of this. You are definitely part of this. The reason we're doing this Facebook Lives is because it's so interactive. We can't really respond directly to the comments. They are rolling on the screen, and we do that, but we're not traditionally live streamers. We're a radio station. We're used to doing radio broadcasts, and with the Facebook Live, we've been able to do visual radio shows, and that's been wonderful to be on this journey with you. And again, I thank all of you who join us, support us, and just lurk in there and see what's going on, because this information needs to go lots of places. You spread it out so thousands of people can view this and get this information. So we really appreciate all the people that help us do that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I do try to read the comments. I do try to go and look at the comments and go, oh, look at that. Somebody explained something to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I asked you guys for help sometimes, and you give it. Ask and you shall receive. So let me start by sharing this little snippet that was posted on Ulloa's page. It starts off by saying that the Sharepoint database branding logo ILU-OASISS-OMEGA San Diego sector, and this is for the San Diego sector foreign operations branch migrant caravan for year 2019. Suspected organizers, coordinators, instigators, and media arrested. They have a list of arrested people. Okay. The arrested people are Neri Martinez Moreno. That is an organizer from Honduras. Next is Josael Alvarenga Romero, who's an instigator from El Salvador. Larry Salinas Pineda, an instigator from Honduras. This is how they're listed. I'm just reading this list, guys. Loudon Aurelio Reyes, instigator from Guatemala. Enrique Rodriguez Hinojosa, instigator from the United States of America. Jonathan Gonzalez Salazar, an instigator from the United States of America. Richard Morillo Canales, an instigator from the United States of America. Carlos Gonzalez Valencia, an organizer from Honduras. And Alfonso Guerrero-Ulloa, an organizer from Honduras. Now remember, he was arrested a while back here in Mexico.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming that's part of the arrest that happened. We have people whose visas were canceled or whose Sentry passes, their fast pass to get through the airport, was canceled. This is from a list that was published on March 11th on Alfonso Guerrero-Ulloa's page. Now, you remember I explained to you that Guerrero-Ulloa is a terrorist, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You remember me telling you guys that? Remember me explaining that? And I showed you where he is listed as a terrorist. I read to you from a document that I shared in which it says that Alfonso Guerrero-Ulloa was suspected in a terroristic act and that they had a warrant for his arrest. And that the government in Mexico, contrary to accepted norms of international law on harboring terrorists, had granted asylum to Mr. Guerrero. And that the United States government had protested to the government of Mexico. And also, subsection B, statement of policy, it read that in the sense of the Congress, excuse me, I'm going to try this one more time. It is the sense of the Congress that that the United States Congress deplores the harboring of international terrorists, and two, that the United States government should call upon the government of Mexico to turn Mr. Guerrero-Ulloa over to the government of Honduras. Told you all about that. So, he gets really upset when people call him a terrorist, but I am just reading from a government document, y'all. I am just reading from a government document I shared with you before. So, these are just facts. I'm sharing them with you. Some people don't like them, but they're still real. And the people that had their visas or their Sentry passes canceled are Kajidusa Spellman. Okay? Now, if you could recall, Nicole Ramos prominently posted the Facebook post of Pastor, Reverend, I don't remember what her title is exactly, but I know she's clergy, Kajidusa Spellman, who's listed in this this investigative document database, whatever, as an associate from the USA. An associate. Remember, they're investigating people associated with the Caravan Support Network, Pueblos Sin Fronteras, Al Otro Lado, Border Angels, and some other organizations we've been talking about here on our show. Kajadusa Spellman, right, is one of the people that we know to be on that list because she posted about it on her Facebook page, and Nicole Ramos shared it on hers saying, "Oh my God, even clergy are on the list. Can you believe it? Isn't it crazy?" And then the list goes on to have Milton Omar Avila Benitez, who's listed as an organizer from Honduras. That guy, guess who that guy is, Duke? That's the radio announcer, whatever, for Perro Amarillo. The one that was shared all the time by Pueblos Sin Fronteras and Jesse Sandoval with Pueblo Éxodo. And, you know, that whole little circle of people that just like were in a tunnel retweeting, resharing each other's content. Yeah. That guy, Milton Omar, had his visa canceled, had his century pass, one of those two things. You know who else? Maria Garibo Garcia. I think that's Gina Garibo. I think that's the woman whose link appeared in that Ari Harnorvar article in Teen Vogue that had Minority Humanitarian Foundation's Mark Lane in the same article, who was friends of Ari Harnorvar, the writer of said article. Oh, yeah. And it also has Nicole Ramos of Al Otro Lado, who's friends with Mark Lane, who's friends with the writer. Because I told you the fix is in. That's how they sell you the sob story. That's how they sell you the asylum claim, many of which have no validation, many of which are false, many of which are fabricated. Now, that may make some people angry, and it makes me mad as hell. You know why? Because there are people that have valid asylum claims. And, I mean, this is like hate crimes. It hurts all of the people that would need to report a real hate crime. This is an affront to immigration law and policy for folks to be doing what they are doing, and for these folks to be in any way helping them, supporting them in doing something like that. But they're being investigated for those violent clashes at the border. And those violent clashes are on 2 days that involve people crossing into the United States undocumented en masse. And, you know, I don't know if they were throwing things at the Border Patrol to distract them or to, you know, get their attention. Who knows why they did what they did. But it was all over the media. And it's being investigated by the Border Patrol and Homeland Security. So that's what's going on. Also on the list is Rodrigo Abeja Pineda, who's an organizer from Mexico. Wow. Then it has a list of people they interviewed, okay? On the list of people that they interviewed is Jeff Valenzuela, who is an unknown category. And I believe he might be media, but I'm not for sure. I've got to look a little bit more into him. I'll show you a little tiny piece of things I found about him today, but I will be taking a deeper dive. Y'all want to help? You want to jump in and help? And go. I'll be showing you some of these people profile pics and stuff on today's show so that you can find them more easily, because these Spanish names, these Mexican names, these Hispanic Latino names are, you know, we all have names like Cindy Azucena Gomez-Schempp, you know, so it's a little bit harder to find. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, you add to that people like these are hiding and they don't want to really be found, so they use different names or nicknames. So Ronald Jamon Dixon is the next one. You'd think he was from the USA, but actually it says he's from, what the hell is Mexico Alex?
I don't know.
What the hell does that mean? That's not a country. Every single one of these has the word Mexico, U.S. or Honduras or Guatemala or something like that. But this says Mexico Alex.
Yep.
What do you suppose that means?
I don't know.
Do you think it's talking about Alex Mensing?
I don't know.
A Pueblo Sin Fronteras? Or, I don't know. Anyway, the next one is Juan Barrientos Posada. And they list him as media from the U.S. And then it says something like Das, two S's. Looks like it spells dossier.
Yeah.
But then there's Alfonso Guerrero-Ulloa's picture.
Blocking it. So,
thanks, Ulloa. Next is Alexander Villagran Bachman. That's Alexander Bachman, the Mexican with like blue eyes.
Okay.
Who has the show. Like, he always shows the giant ant. There's like the marabunta. That guy?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was interviewed. So, he must have some kind of information. And then, of course, the very last one, which is the one I'm going to take a deeper look into tonight, is Elena Beth Alderman, Instigator from the U.S. So let's find out more.
Yeah.
What is she an instigator of, and for whom? Is she an instigator for whom?
Yeah.
Okay? I hope all this research, I do this research to understand and to help you understand and to explain things to you. And I also hope that this information, by documenting all of this information, people that are trying to investigate or learn more about the activities of these folks have a place where all of that information is under one umbrella, right? So thank you for doing that work with me. Thank you for sharing the information that you have that helps me to build this massive database research.
Definitely.
First, I want to show you some of Elena's friends. Interestingly, folks, 4 of the people that are on the list, on the little tiny piece of the list, remember, we heard there was 15, almost 60 names on this list, this database, according to the news sources that got a copy of it. We've only covered maybe 12 to 16 people in my past reports that were, self-outing themselves and saying, I'm on the list.
Yep.
So this is a new list of people. A lot of them are Mexican and Central American and Mexican American. So meaning U.S. born with Latino names, right? We've only got one, Kaji Dusa. Obviously, she is not. Well, maybe she could be Latina. She could be Latina. She could totally be Latina. We have Blaxicans, so that could be a thing. But, you would think Ronald Jamon Dixon was totally American and he has Mexico behind his name. So, yeah, most of these names are all Latino people. So it's interesting that Elena Alderman, an American, is on this list. Right? There are other Americans, but they're more Latino. I will tell you, Elena speaks Spanish pretty good. I mean, damn near perfect. I mean, she doesn't have an accent. I heard her singing in Spanish, which I can't share with you because then they'll ding our show. But I'm going to show you some pictures of that too. Anyway, she was in the article, or she was in the list. I'm going to now share with you the names of the 4 people that were on this list that she's friends with on her Facebook. Gina Garibo, who is, I think, one of the people that's on that list. Josael Romero, Jeff Valenzuela, and Rodrigo Abeja. So let's go through some of her friends, shall we? First, I'm not going to show you her whole friends list. It is, how many pages long?
70-something.
Yeah. To screen capture her friends list, it took me 78 pages. And I'm not going to show you that to you because that would be crazy, right? But let me show you this first screen. These are just some of the important ones, which I think that you should. There's Canelita Ramirez. You know what? She's friends. I should go through this friends list again because I'll probably recognize more people. Anyway, Alex Mensing is right at the top of this list. Of course, he is one of the leaders of Pueblos Sin Fronteras. In fact, his avatar is his picture from the list.
Yep.
Right there. Then we have, oh my God, there's Jenny Lopez. You know who she's friends with? She's friends with Johnson Johnson, a.k.a. Reyes Clinton, a.k.a. Josue Rodrigo. Oh my God, I can't remember. Reyes. I think that's his name. The guy that's been accompanying the caravan, holding up roads in Irapuato, Guanajuato, and hijacking vehicles with caravan goers. That guy, the guy that's friends with Sam Slovic and the Hollywood people. Yeah, there's Jenny Lopez. I just showed her the other day. She was in the pictures with the new page that I shared with you of Johnson & Johnson, one of the accompaniers. And I think the guy that, this other guy that we have, you know why I do it in air quotes? Because they're probably, they should be more correctly termed human smugglers, right? And if they're moving children, then human traffickers. However, I don't know that Johnson & Johnson or whatever his name is has been arrested yet, or but I think that's what he's doing. Here's some more of the other people on this list. Pitaya Queen, another person that's been accused of human trafficking children, sex trafficking children by the Jardín de las Mariposas. I've shared that on my show. She works very closely with Pueblos Sin Fronteras and Minority Humanitarian Foundation and Bridges of Love Across Borders and many others. We have Canelita Ramirez, one of the people, friends of one of the people that we are going to be showing you is accused of human smuggling. David Carlos, the guy that I told you would be the other subject I would go into deeply tonight. There's Irineo Mujica, the leader of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, one of the leaders besides Guerrero-Ulloa. And then there's Manuel Ocano. Manuel Ocano is like a journalist. And then we have Marco Octavio Rafael Amarral Valencia. You've seen him in other pictures of the friends of Bridges of Love Across Borders, Bertie Gutierrez. Okay? I know these are a lot of names, but for those of you who've stuck around, I commend you for taking the time to give a rip about these networks, about how they work together and who is involved, because it's a lot. But, you know, that's why I repeat this stuff over and over to you, so you can learn. So they learn. Here's the second one of her friends list I'm going to show you, and this one has Gina Garibo right there on the top. And then we also have a person that shows up a lot in the tags, Tristan Call. I recognize that name. The Caravana Via Cruces Migrantes Refugiados. That's an important one. And there's a relative of Miss Alderman's there. Keep going. We have more people at the bottom of this list. Is that all? That's all? No more?
Nope.
Okay. Next, we're going to show you part of her friends list, in which Josael Romero, another one of the people that we just heard about, that was arrested. Josael was arrested in conjunction with this investigation. He's one of the first people on the list. Elena's friends with that guy. And there's also Ari Harnorvar, the person that wrote the article in Teen Vogue that I was just talking about, folks. And also on this number 3 of the friends list is a guy named Ian Phillybaum. He is from Innovation Law Lab. He's one of the people that give legal advice, like Al Otro Lado. Interesting fact, did you know Ian Phillybaum was at Standing Rock?
No.
I know, right?
They keep showing up.
They do. So Elena also has these friends. Jeff Valenzuela. And by the way, Jeff was on this list. Look at his picture. His avatar is of him. It looks like he's wearing, it's a very dark picture. It looks like the shirt is clear, maybe yellow or white t-shirt. And it's got a round neck, and he's got dark hair, and glasses in his avatar for those who are just trying to figure out how you find this guy.
Yep.
On Facebook. Megafono del Pueblo. That was just on the tags of one of the people connected to Sophia Marie's post of Alex Mensing that I said, this is very interesting. These are all people that are tagged with Alex Mensing's post with Nicole Ramos. Remember that? And Jeff Valenzuela was also tagged there. He's one of the people on the list, on this list, that had their visas or Sentry passes canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I will show you. Oh, there's also another person at the bottom there, Duke. PJ Podesta. He was one of the people. PJ Podesta was one of the people that was also tagged in that post shared by Sophia Marie De Loreto Chudy, the lady that worked for Senator Barragan. On her campaign, she would like me to elaborate on her campaign. She helped get her elected. But they're friends. Anyway. So, let us look at the last one I'm going to show you on here. This one shows Rodrigo Abeja. Right there. Rodrigo Abeja. And do you know who that is? That's one of the people on the list. Rodrigo Abeja was one of the people that had their visa or Sentry pass canceled. Also, canceled. So, that's a coinky-dink, isn't it? That this Elena from the United States, on a list of mostly Latino people being investigated in conjunction with these two dates on which there were clashes with Border Patrol at the border where people were crossing illegally. And she's friends with 4 of those people. And a lot of the people connected to Pueblos Sin Fronteras, the LGBTQIA Caravan, the media, and Irineo Mujica and Guerrero-Ulloa. So, Sophia Marie shared this post. This is the post where she shared Alex Mensing's post. And it had all of those people tagged in it that I told you were so interesting to me that I was going to look at more carefully. Hold on a second. I'm having technical difficulties with my headphones. So you can see there, once again, the interesting names that I'm like, oh, there's Ian Phillybaum. Oh, there's Gina Garibo. Oh, there's Luis Guerra. There's Nicole Ramos. There's Elena Alderman. On the Sophia Maria De Loreto Chudy post with Alex Mensing's that had all those tags. El Megafono del Pueblo is right there. We've got Irineo Mujica, the leader of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, Ian Phillybaum, Gina Garibo, Luis Guerra, Nicole Ramos, Elena Alderman, Tristan Call, PJ Podesta. I said, these names are super important. Yeah. And I was right. Next, I'll show you from Sophia Maria's posts again. Hey, girl, you're back in the show. On the posts of Alex Mensing's, the tags. This is a different post in which you can see Nicole Ramos is tagged in the original post, and these are additional tags. If you move it around over to the top a little bit more, you see Nicole Ramos right there is with Nicole Ramos, and they tag Jeff Valenzuela from the list, Megafono del Pueblo, Irineo Mujica, Ian Phillybaum, Gina Garibo from the list, Magdalena Rampsia Cerda, Luis Guerra, Elena Alderman from the list, and then Tristan Call and PJ Podesta. That's 3 people from the list.
Yeah.
This is 3 people that are tagged in a post with the 4th person, Alex Mensing, and a 5th person, Nicole Ramos, that Sophia Maria De Loreto Chudy knows. A woman that helped get elected Congresswoman Barragan, who was recently in a viral video yelling at Homeland Security's Kirstjen Nielsen about not letting people request asylum at the border, right? And here is a little something from Jeff Valenzuela's page. He posted this post from November 27th. And it's a post of Alex Mensings, who is with Nicole Ramos and 27 other tags. And it says, "This is a great video, shows some of the truth of the Central American Exodus. Please share widely." It's a video. And the tagged people are, one of the leaders of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, Irineo Mujica. Who else? Tristan Call. I'm not going to read all of these. But there's Elena Alderman, who's on the list, right? There's Gina Garibo, who's on the list. There's Jeff Valenzuela, who's on the list. There's Ian Philibom, Luis Guerra, Irineo Mujica, twice for some reason. He must have 2 pages. Rodrigo Abeja, who's on the list. And who else? Lucatero was one of the friends on Elena's page, Elena's friends list that I just noticed. Megafono del Pueblo is there. Okay, so let's move on. Here's Elena's LinkedIn. This is Elena Alderman's LinkedIn, and she's an advocacy coordinator with the Cara Pro Bono Project. And it says in her LinkedIn, she went to San Francisco State University. It says, "My goal is to support the empowerment of migrant communities through access." Can I see this from far away?
Access to sustainable legal services. I hope to further expand my skill set in fields of immigration, nationality, and poverty law in order to become an asset in cross-border family reunification efforts.
Wow, that's really specific.
Yeah, really.
Can you go down?
Mm-hmm.
And said, Cara Pro Bono Project, Dilley, Texas. You know, Dilley, Texas is one of the places where they have one of those detention centers that
I see.
has been accused of doing lots of bad things to people in them. She's an immigration paralegal. Fragoman, Del Rey, and Benson and Lowy
Mm-hmm.
for 1 year and 11 months in 2015. Since December of 2016, she's been at Cara Pro Bono Project, 2 years, 4 months, Dilley, Texas.
Wow.
Okay. That's her recent jobs. Let's look at an article about her work from NBC News. I will share the article in the links to this program. Nemo can drop it into the comments there, please. And in this article from NBC News, titled "Migrant Caravan Organizers Slam Justice Department for Attempting to Criminalize Group," quote, "Nobody on the organizing team or legal team of this caravan has ever encouraged anyone to cross illegally," said the group's organizers. Written on May 1st, 2018 by Annie Rose Ramos and Daniela Silva from Tijuana, Mexico. Organizers of the caravan of migrant seeking asylum in the United States said Tuesday that the Department of Justice announcement that it's charged suspected members of the group with an attempt to criminalize the caravan. Quote, "With regards to the people that the Department of Justice has said are crossing illegally, that's clearly an attempt to criminalize the refugee caravan," said Alex Mensing, project coordinator of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, an aid group that helped organize the caravan. The group of about 120 migrants continued waiting Tuesday at a border crossing between Tijuana, Mexico, and California to plead their case for asylum after a grueling journey to the border. Okay, now there's a video in here that I want you all to see. I want to show you the screen capture first. Do we have that screen capture? Was that? You can see right there that she appears in this article right there. It says, late Tuesday morning, several migrants were allowed into the United States at the San Isidro port of entry to have their asylum claims processed, according to Elena Alderman, a member of the aid group. The aid group, I just told you, the aid group they're talking about is Pueblos Sin Fronteras. That's who she works with. In addition to Cara, the legal thing. That's who she works with. So play that video from NBC News. Here's a clip.
As news spreads across the caravan, reason to celebrate. 25 migrants from this group of 150 allowed to surrender to Border Patrol seeking asylum in the U.S. Wendy Garcia, with son Oscar fleeing corruption in El Salvador, says it gives us hope. We'll wait here as long as it takes. After a grueling month-long journey, many fear they'll be forced to return to the violence and persecution they fled. But surrendering at the border, they face another wall. Families can be separated, some detained, as the fight for asylum can take years.
It's incredibly challenging to prove your case for asylum, particularly if you are detained and you don't have access to police reports that you may have filed in your country.
Border Patrol agents arrested 11, who they say tried to enter the U.S. illegally. Justice Department officials suspect they were part of the so-called caravan.
Nobody on either the organizing team or the legal team of this caravan has ever encouraged anyone to cross illegally.
Just on the other side of the border, volunteer Blair Overstreet is opening her home in San Diego.
These are people who we need to welcome in as our neighbors.
Tonight, there are no guarantees. Arriving at the border doesn't mean safe passage. But for these families, there's nowhere else to turn.
With what appears to be a slow trickle underway of migrants now surrendering themselves to Border Patrols, more than 100 families here are so close yet so far away from the U.S.-Mexico border. Many lawyers fear tonight, despite everything they have been through here, these families will never make it to the other side of the border.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Alex protests that nobody would ever do anything like that. But I don't think that they necessarily have to do it themselves, since they're working with people who are closely working with the people that are illegally crossing people, encouraging them to cross. Telling them, hey, we got everything set up for you. If you cross, you know, if you happen to get over illegally, however that happens. Are you going to be crossing illegally? Oh, you are? You want my number? Remember Paola Mendoza? Conversation that she had with the tear gas lady?
Yeah.
I'll see you right over there. Yep. And what do we have next, Duke? This is, oh, that's the...
Yep.
Elena. This is a picture of what... It was her Facebook page is a picture of a cat with a blonde wig. Remember when you saw that before? I showed you something she posted. And I'm like, it's a picture of a cat wearing a blonde wig. Well, this is the person. No, this is the person that the page belongs to that we showed you before. I did not know she was one of the people on the list. But this is her. And this is her pro bono project, Cara pro bono project, overview of what it is, what it do. Can you read that one, Duke?
I can try. Oh man, you always give me these hard ones that don't show up for everyone. The volunteers of the Catholic Legal Immigration Network, the American Immigration Council, the Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services, and the American Immigration Lawyers Association, collectively known as CARA, joined forces in response to Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE significant expansion of his family detention capacity.
Huh. And it has a website, and it says their legal services. They say they have 2 to 10 employees, headquartered in Dilley, Texas, founded in 2014. Man, these people just came out of the gate. 2014 wasn't that long ago in the life of a organization that does immigrant work. I mean,
especially multi-million-dollar immigrant work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. A lot of the people that I see that are funding Pueblos Sin Fronteras and that started talking about these issues barely came about, you know, in 2015, 2016. And I say they were positioning themselves because prior to that, they had no business talking about this stuff. They didn't talk about it. They had nothing to say about it. Anyway, you know, this Elena Alderman looks very young to me. This is her Facebook page. This is what it looks like. There's the cat with the wig.
Okay.
And the background is kind of funny because it says there is no prince. There is no, what do you say? In Spanish, we say the blue prince, or like, it means like the fairy tale prince image. That guy doesn't exist.
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming, yeah. Mm-hmm. Prince Charming. We say blue prince. The blue prince isn't real. It says azul. El príncipe azul no existe. That's what it says. El macho violento sí. Cuídate. So it means the, what did you call it?
Prince Charming does not exist.
Prince Charming did not exist, but the violent macho man does. Watch out.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it says on her page. She has 0 photos of her on her own page. She has very few photos, like a handful. I'm going to show all of them to you tonight on my show that she has available. And none of them are of her, which is like, this is like Gina Garibo's. Gina Garibo at least has her profile picture as her. This woman don't even have that. Like, she is undercover. She doesn't want you to peek at her life or know anything about her except what she tells you in articles.
Okay.
So I guess we're going to have to know her through the articles.
Yep.
And here is a photo that she posted of none other than Irineo Mujica. That's Irineo. And she posted that on October 9th of 2018. And it has a quote. There's Mr. Irineo Mujica, one of the leaders of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, who's been arrested, etc., who's been investigated. As I told you, Interpol is involved with the Pueblos Sin Fronteras investigation for human smuggling and trafficking. And it says, quote, "The world is a jungle you choose to fight or run forever," close quote, with Irineo Mujica. Interesting, right?
Yep.
And then she also posted about police abuse. Here's her post about police abuse.
They took everything and started hitting me. They told me, here are your human rights. Stop the abuse of municipal police in Tijuana.
That is a quote by Irineo Mujica too.
Wow.
Supposedly. Because I think that that's where they arrested him. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But I think that's who she's talking about. Here's your human rights. And then there's a big poster that says, "Basta el abuso del policía. Poder. Basta el abuso del poder." And then you can't read the rest of it.
Yeah.
Abuse of power, basically. Okay. And it says that the police have violated people's rights. And so she posted about that. She also posted about Enclave Caracol. And it says, "Hey, be with us today against the abuse of power. Be with us today at Enclave Caracol. The March for Dignity starts at Enclave Caracol at noon." And then there's a picture of Enclave Caracol. You see there's like a knife and I don't know what that is. And it says "Food Not Bombs."
Okay.
And then maybe scissors. And then there's like on the other side it says vegan food. And it's got an anarchist symbol in the vegan part at the top.
Okay.
Do you see that? The letter A is inside of a circle that has the long, horizontal part of the letter A going all the way through the circle like anarchist and Antifa do.
Yep.
I showed you that symbol many times. So they let you know there's some anarchy, Antifa going on in there.
Yeah.
And they got their arms up in the air. And what is the symbol on that red hat, Duke? That's not a MAGA hat, is it? What is that? What does it
Pueblos
say?
Sin Fronteras.
That's right, baby. That is Pueblos Sin Fronteras. Just in case you weren't sure. So, next, we have Pueblos Sin Fronteras humanitarian visas. And in this one, they're holding up their fist again. You can only see their backs of their heads again in the photo. Yeah. This was posted by Elena Alderman on August 30th. And she says, after a great fight and negotiations with the National Institute of Migration of Los Alamos, the first 7 caravanners in Tijuana have now gotten their humanitarian visas. We're waiting for another 33 so that those are resolved according to the promises made by the National Institute of Migration of Mexico. And that's all of that. Next, we have a post from the beach. A post about Jeff, the other guy that's on this list. And this is what she posted: a picture of people on the beach having a ball. You can see 4 people are in the ocean in their swimsuits, and it tags Jeff Valenzuela's picture, and it says, "Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto." That's like the line from a song. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto. Remember?
Yeah.
Sosa. That is by the great singer Sosa. Anyway, Elena Alderman posts this quote about how, thank you to life for everything that you've given me. And she is tagged with Jeff. That might be her in the water. That might be the only picture she posted of herself because you couldn't see her.
Yeah.
Your face. Her face. I bet it is her because that girl in that picture does have some curly hair. She does have some curly hair. Okay. Next, we have another picture of Enclave Caracol, but it's titled Tijuana Comida No Bombas, which is another name for this place, Tijuana Food Not Bombs. And it's got a bunch of people standing on the steps of the very same building that we saw earlier in Clave Caracol with the vegan sign over there. Mm-hmm. And it's got the knife with the, whatever those are, scissors or whatever it is. So she is not pictured in the picture because we know she's a blonde girl, right?
Yep.
And she also has a post about how she accompanied people to the border to request asylum. Ooh. Okay. In this post, Elena says that it's a picture of like, I don't know, it looks like a bracelet made out of seeds and a little note that is attached to the bracelet made out of seeds. And it says, Madre Nuestra, dear Mother, derrama el efecto de gracia de tu llama de amor. Cover us with grace. Spill the grace of your flame of love sobre los gobernantes del mundo, over the governors, the leaders of the world, and politicians. Amen. That's what it said. And she says, as I walked with 3 brave kids today to request asylum, these are probably unaccompanied minors then.
Yeah.
At the U.S. port of entry in San Isidro, I slipped this tiny paper message to one of them, a 16-year-old Honduran boy, just as they are all entering the massive gate. They start to walk away with the man in the blue uniform, and I swallow my tears as they look back at me one last time. The boy smiles at me before turning a corner, and then he is gone. I close my eyes and pray that as he enters, the wretched beast that is the United States immigration system, and ORR, that's refugee resettlement, he finds himself in the company of kind souls, with officials and staff members who see his wide eyes and remember their own children, officials and psychologists and social workers and attorneys and assistants and judges who see themselves in his dark stare, who recognize his fear, his confusion, his inability to trust, who see the scars on his body left by other adults who should have cared for him but instead hurt him, who see his intelligence and kindness and know that he deserved nothing but love. I pray that the learned behaviors of aggression and greed and power within those officials melt away and their natural instincts to feel love and empathy overwhelm them. I pray that the urge to love is still stronger than the urge to hate in each and every moment for each and every person waiting for him in his long journey ahead. Suerte, hermanitos. Sí, suerte. And you're going to need suerte. You're going to need luck. And all of the prayers in the world aren't going to change U.S. immigration laws or asylum laws for that matter. They're just not going to. So sending a bunch of people to detention centers to request asylum, most of whom will not be receiving them, to put them in what you call torture chambers and what you call hell, and what all of you have called the most deplorable conditions within these U.S. detention facilities, and yet you send them there, and yet you keep filling up the detention facilities. I don't know what is, it's to me the epitome of inhumanity that these folks in the caravan are lied to. They're lied to about their prospects. They're lied to about what could happen to them. It is heartbreaking to hear them talk about how, like so many of the ones that were in those fenced-in areas under that bridge in El Paso, were saying that they wouldn't have come if they knew things were good. They were their children, or they would be treated in such a way. That's not even as bad as it is inside of the detention facilities. Wait until you get in there. You're going to like it even less.
Exactly.
And hardly anyone will hear about it, because that's how it's been, always been, up to now. But these folks know about it. These folks know exactly how bad it's going to be. Also, there's a flair of the dramatic in there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, she is quite the entertainer.
Yeah.
She is quite an entertainer. A lot of these folks are. They're in the entertainment industry. They like to entertain. They do it for fun. They do it for their careers. Here, Elena tags Nicole, Gina, Rodrigo, Ian Philibom, Alex Mensing, and Irineo Mujica. All of them in this post. And it reads, could you read that one for me?
It's all in Spanish, but...
Oh, are you going to use that as an excuse?
Las familias luchadoras de la caravana de refugiados.
Oh my God, stop. I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I'm kidding. The families that fight with the refugee caravan continue their resistance here at La Garita, El Chaparral in Tijuana. And they voted as a group to stay together outside of the door to the entry of Border Patrol. I respected their right, all in caps, to demand, to request asylum and for them all to be processed. People of San Diego and Tijuana, could you cooperate with some of their needs mentioned to support their struggle? Call me at, and she lists her number right on there. That's not smart. And then she says, refugees welcome. Title 8, Section 1225. Is she Nicole Ramos now?
Yeah.
She sounds like her. Hashtag migrar es amar. Loving is migrating. Migrating is loving. Pueblos sin fronteras. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there's a little girl holding a page of requests for gloves and shoes and socks and all sorts of different clothing items, and hygiene items. And at the very bottom, it's got a lot of misspelled words like little kids would write, you know. And I don't think that little girl could have written that anyway. But keep going. That is probably a full-grown adult that wrote that.
Gave him some crayon. Yeah.
Anyway, next we have her Twitter page. Here's her Twitter page at NANuggl, NUGGL. Don't bother really going there because she's never tweeted anything. She's almost dark on social media. Here's her Instagram. Here is an article from KCBS. Here is a picture. And what is that red hat, Duke?
Oh, Pueblo Sin Fronteras.
Oh, what? Yeah, because she works with them.
Yeah.
Right? There she is in the middle with her curly strawberry blonde hair. And this is the article that this picture comes from KCBS. And you can see in the article that she is, in fact, in the article. Here's a screen capture. Title says, "These are images of the migrant journey and their hopes for the new life." There's the picture of her right above, at the very top there, in the ticker of photos. You can see right in the middle. There's her picture.
Oh, okay.
The lady with the hat. It's just a photo series, Duke, and it's got photos there by Matt Bilger, May 15, 2018. It says over 200 migrants from Central America made international headlines when they arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border seeking asylum. KCBS Radio, Matt Bigler, was there when it happened, bringing us a five-part series, Caravan of Dreams, stories of the migrant journey and their hopes for a new life in America. Here she is in the San Diego Union Tribune. Boy, they really like the people from Pueblo Sin Fronteras and the people that are helping this caravan. And the people from the Caravan Support Network. Here's a picture from the article. And you can see all the way at the bottom, there is a, whatchamacallit? Nothing. There's nothing on this picture. What am I talking about?
I know.
Well, I thought that...
Got a caption?
Okay, the next one has the caption on it. I'm sorry. I'm trying. See, I knew I saw a caption under the photo. You see, this is below her leg. So it says, Sonia Alfaro to the right, an immigrant from Guatemala, speaks with Elena Alderman, who works with the immigrant rights group Pueblo Sin Fronteras.
Okay.
Okay.
Identified where she works.
Yep. And this was before a meeting on July 25th, 2018 in Tijuana. On the left is a fellow migrant from Honduras. Okay. So next is another article or screen capture that shows that she also works with Pueblo Sin Fronteras.
Volunteer coordinator on the ground.
Yep. You want to read that for me?
With Pueblo Sin Fronteras explained that the workshop was to help daily, often bewildering processes that can differ for individuals based on their particular circumstances. These workshops provide a unique opportunity to reach individuals before they decide to request asylum in the U.S. or refugee status in Mexico, providing essential information on their rights as well as harsh realities of the system so they can make informed decisions for their families, noted Alderman. And they have a picture of a playground.
Yeah, and this is from a Latino Rebel article, Latino Rebels, and I will share that with you so you can go check it out for yourself. Nemo, if you could toss it in the comments. Here is another one from the San Diego Union Tribune. Surprise, surprise. And in it, there is a video. Please share that video, Duke. Here is the San Diego Union Tribune video.
protests outside Otay Mesa Detention Center.
How is it possible that we have come asking for help and protection for our lives, and that when we arrive, we are separated from our children and families and treated like criminals, even if that's not what we are? We want people to be conscientious and to give us the opportunity to be released on parole or with a minimal bond. Because right now, they are denying parole to all, and the bonds are very high, even $15,000 or $25,000. How do you think we are going to be paid that amount if we come fleeing our countries? Be conscientious of the fact that we are afraid to be in our countries. We want help, not family separation. We ask that the judges be conscientious. We are single mothers without anyone's help. We are people who are here for the first time asking for help and protection for ourselves and for our children. There are mothers here who are separated from their children, and they have even been criminally charged. We need your support. Sincerely, Immigrant Compañeras of Pueblos Sin Fronteras Caravan.
ICE officials detained
Roxana Hernandez! Roxana Hernandez! Roxana Hernandez!
I went up to them during the protest, during my live stream, to try to get a comment from them, basically saying to the woman first, you're a mother, what do you think of this policy of them, you know, separating mothers from their children? And she sat there stone-faced. And the men, all they could say was, ma'am, get behind the cone, you know, and then one actually gets on their phone. I'm trying to elicit a comment from them. So just now I went up to them and I said, listen, you know, it would really behoove you to make a comment and show your humanity, because when you stand there all stone-faced like that, you just reinforce everybody's impression of private prison corporations and what they're doing to human beings.
Alerta que camina, la lucha del migrante por América Latina. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina, la lucha del migrante por América Latina.
That woman that was at the microphone and the blonde curly hair was her.
Mm-hmm.
So people from Pueblos Sin Fronteras protest detention facilities in the United States, even though they're the lead organizers of the caravan through Central America and Mexico.
Yep, I guess.
So some of these people do multiple things in multiple roles. In this particular in this particular article, here's a screen capture from the San Diego Union Tribune article that this video was taken from that says, what, Duke? Can you read it for me?
We tell the government to put themselves in our shoes. Imagine what it would be like to be separated from their children, said Elena Alderman, a volunteer coordinator with Pueblos Sin Fronteras, reading from a letter written collectively by women inside the facility. Put your hands on your heart. Be fair. Do not separate families.
In this next San Diego Union Tribune article, the one that showed the picture of Elena sitting with two people on a couch, they also feature Gina Guerrero. Here is Gina Guerrero in the article. Check it out. There's a picture of her at the bottom.
I see.
That is a picture of Gina Guerrero's back. She's the one speaking to the crowd. But if you see, directly across from her, sitting in a chair, is a blonde woman.
Okay.
That's Elena. And in this little section of text, you can see at the top, that says that Gina Guerrero of Pueblos Sin Fronteras speaks during a meeting with members of the caravan who have stayed behind in Tijuana. Okay. Now, if you go to the text above the picture, it talks about how Pueblos Sin, also staying in the region are dozens of participants in the Pueblos Sin Fronteras caravan that drew the ire of President Trump last spring as it made its way across Mexico. Of those who reached the Tijuana-San Diego border, 248 caravan participants sought asylum in the United States, while another 60 to 80 have opted to remain behind, said Gina Guerrero, the organization's special project director. As of last week, 34 had pending applications with Mexico's National Migrant Institute in Tijuana, she said. Several Caravan members and others interviewed in Tijuana last week said earning dollars and connecting with families in the U.S. remained powerful lures to crossing the border. But staying in Mexico was preferable to the likelihood of detention and deportation at the hands of U.S. authorities. So, next, I have for you pictures of Miss Elena singing. Here she is on YouTube. I'm not going to actually play, but if you look at the caption below, you'll see that this song is titled Es tan difícil. And it is a Zacarias Ferreira cover that she's doing on a guitar. Looks like in her room. Mm-hmm. She's got some pretty raunchy posters of naked women in the background. Anyway, that's her singing in Spanish. And here's her other videos from her YouTube where she's got Corazón Sin Cara, a Prince Royce cover, a Little Rooster song. There's another one of her singing Bang Bang. And if you go to her YouTube, you can listen. You can find a bunch of stuff. You just type in her name. Mm-hmm. At last. Okay. She's singing that one at some graduation in California. Mm-hmm. And here she is on her couch surfing.
Oh, another couch surfer.
Yeah. I want you to read all the things that she tells us about herself, Duke.
Okay. She's fluent in English. Spanish. Mm-hmm. Or learning Spanish, she says.
Oh, she learned it.
She's 31 female. Learned it. Member since 2009. Service coordinator, Next Door Homeless Shelter. Bachelor's degree in progress from Berkeley, California. Her profile's 50% complete. Mm-hmm. Now we got to go through her story.
Her current mission is that she's saving up enough money to get to Colombia while still managing to pay all of her dang bills.
Her dang bills.
Her dang bills.
I'm a Bay Area girl. Young and determined. Laugh a lot. Compassion. Let me go back down here. I won't be able to move it. I love Spanish in Central, South America. I also really like wiggling around and pretending to be really good at salsa dancing. I am a singer. I love blues and soul, music and playing shows with my friends. I'm living and working in San Francisco, trying to save enough money to get to my TFL degree to teach English in Colombia. I'm also studying for my BA in social work. I want to be a case manager in homeless or low-income family children's services and eventually start my own transitional nonprofit in Central South America, or maybe work for an international NGO like Human Rights Watch. I'm also very friendly and probably smile too much. My philosophy is get off your lazy butt and make things happen for yourself. Sleep when you're dead. Why I'm couch surfing. Nothing yet. When I go to Colombia and anywhere else, I would love to couch surf. And then she has a bunch of interests. I like watching anything in Spanish and trying to understand it. I've been reading Gabriel Garcia Marquez lately. Countries I visited: Mexico, Venezuela. Countries I've lived in: Dominican Republic and United States.
Okay. Now, it says she's lived in other countries, Spanish-speaking countries. But as you've heard Alex Mensing, as you've heard all of the Gina Garibo talk about, as you've heard now Miss Elena Alderman tell you, these people, none of them have anything to do with coercing or coaxing or inducing or advising people to travel into the United States illegally or cross over our border wall or do anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're indignant at this type of accusation. Okay? Show them the next picture, Duke.
Right.
This is a picture of her. You can see right there. She is, and I told you, there are not a lot of pictures of this woman on anyone's Facebook page, not even on her own Facebook page. But there are two of them on this guy's page.
Oh.
Cueva Ramirez Carlos, who is Carlos David Cuevas Ramirez. The Carlos David Cuevas Ramirez that I reported to you had been picked up. Oscar El Burro Ramirez was the one that first told me about this 24-year-old kid.
Okay.
He was driving in a Jetta, and he was accompanying, let's just call it human smuggling, okay? Can we just agree to that one term?
Yes.
Okay. Human smuggling people with Pueblos Sin Fronteras, and they caught him, I think it was like in Mapastepec. And he was, just driving really slow in front of these people, or really slow behind them, leading the way. And he was questioned. He was arrested. And he was questioned by Interpol and Mexican authorities. And then he was deported. His status was removed. I'll remind you all about it. But just know that one of the people that Pueblos Sin Fronteras, Pueblo Éxodo, Caravan Support Network were whining and crying about was the arrest and deportation of this dude who was accused of smuggling humans, as they themselves will tell you in these posts. So why you lying? Why you always lying? Pueblos Sin Fronteras about how you don't have anything to do with human smuggling? There you go. I'm going to show you more. I'm going to show you more. You know I have receipts, okay? Yeah. I don't just talk to talk. I'm going to tell you, here it is. I'm going to prove it to you. By the way, guess where Carlos is from? Guess where it says Carlos is from? He's from Toronto, Canada, folks.
Wow.
That's what it says on his page. Look in his About section. It says he lives in Toronto, Ontario, and that he's from Toronto, Ontario, and that he studied at the University of Toronto. That may be bullpucky. I don't know. That's what it says on his page. And you can see that just 2 hours before I looked at this man's page, he had posted, "Migrants are not criminals. We are just seeking the American dream, since Central Americans cannot live in their own countries. They detained migrants that entered in an irregular fashion." That means undocumented. That means without a visa, without identifying themselves. That means illegally. They entered illegally into Mexican territory. 2 hours ago, he was with them. How is he with them again? Who the F knows? I thought they deported this man to Honduras, but apparently he was with a caravan just hours ago, which got detained after entering Mexico. And then it says that INAMI, or the National Migration Institute of Mexico, municipal police implemented an operation to dismantle a caravan of migrants of about approximately 150 people. This operation was implemented in the highway, section of the highway from Tuxtla Chico at the point of the Castejon swimming park, whatever. They were detained while they were walking by squad cars from INAMI, from the migration, with coordination of the municipal police from Tuxtla Chico and Tapachula too, federal police as well. 150 migrants were then transported to the migratory station Siglo XXI at the border, and that's all I captured from that post. I believe there is more. Here are photos from his page that appeared in an article. Do you remember? You can tell those are very nicely shot photos from an article. If y'all remember me showing you some other person's page that had these pictures, this guy is one of the people that travels with them, like Carlos Reyes Clinton, who is from New York. Remember him?
Yep.
This guy is like that guy.
Wow.
These are like those guys that smuggle people. And you can also see he's friends with this lady named Amelie Walker. I thought that was interesting. And Amelie is one and Walter is another. You don't see a lot of people in here. But if they take pictures, almost every picture, by the way, on this guy's page, and there's a lot of pictures that go back for a long time. Mm-hmm. This kid doesn't look like he's all that smart. Okay. Maybe there's a lot of partying pictures, and maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe people that party all the time and like to just have fun and drink a lot and party a lot and have a lot of party pictures are really smart people. Mm-hmm. Maybe they are. Maybe I have some kind of a prejudice about that. I don't know, maybe. But my point is, seems like a partying dude, hangs out with a lot of different people, taking pictures of himself, drinking beer and eating food and making food and having a good time and traveling different places and mm-hmm. going all over Central America and Mexico and everywhere. And he always looks pretty smiley and happy, and he hardly ever mentions where he's at specifically, what he's doing, or tags anyone or posts any comment with his posts. Sometimes people comment on the pictures and then, somebody will tag someone that's what was in the picture, but it's very, very rare. So that's why I decided to make sure and take this picture and put it on my show, because guess what? It has tags. Here they are. And he's saying, it's finally great to see all of us here. This is when we were, when the caravan was leaving, when we left in San Pedro Sula, Walter Coelho, Amelia Frank Vitale. And Amelia Frank Vitale, that last name, I remember seeing it before, and I'm like, yep. I'm starting to learn more. Then, here is the post of his. This is on his own page that he posted, where he talks about being arrested for smuggling humans. He said, thanks to all of my friends that shared my picture where I had been missing. It was true. From a section of road going from Escuintla to Mapastepec, Chiapas. Hey, that's what I just said. Mm-hmm. I returned to find that there were some dudes that had, fallen back, and so I went to intercept them. And and when I did, I was intercepted by police elements on the road, from federal police and an immigration, van, truck, whatever, like dog pound. They call them perreras, where they take people, paddy wagons.
Oh yeah, okay.
They detained me. They put me in an isolation cell. They accused me of smuggling people, and they kept me from Monday. This was posted on February 9 on his page, by the way. They kept me from Monday, from noon, from that day until día lunes a las 12 del día, desde el día sin, from that whole day without the right to a call, and harassing me. It was mistreatment on their part and the federal police and the agents from the INAMI that put me in isolation. Thank God I'm fine now. Estoy bien. Fue hasta el día de ayer que me enviaron a It wasn't until yesterday that they sent me back to San Pedro Sula, Honduras. And at the airport of San Pedro, I was also met by police from Honduras telling me the same thing, that I was an instigator of the caravans. We know that that's a lie. I have never been in a caravan from all the way from here, from Honduras. And we know that everybody immigrated because of the violence and that exists here in Honduras, and that we know that there is no work. And the police that intercepted me, they intercepted me for at least 3 hours in the offices of Interpol at the airport, Valleda Morales de San Pedro Sula, Honduras. After that, those same agents transferred me to the entrance of Copan, which is where I am now. I thank everyone for caring about me. And then there's a picture of him at what looks like a playland at a restaurant or something. Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't it look like a playland?
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of place.
Yep.
So, then we have Pueblo Éxodo posting about this. Remember, this is when Pueblo Éxodo by Jesse Sandoval, that was with the Caravan, created by Jesse Sandoval, one of the American activists. And they're posting about their friend, Carlos David Cueva Ramirez. And it says, Mexican government deported David from Pueblo Sin Fronteras, despite having a permanent Mexican resident visa. Remember when I told you about this?
Mm-hmm.
His only crime? Accompanying asylum seekers to the northern U.S.-Mexico border, which is not illegal. David is now in Honduras awaiting an uncertain fate. I'm not going to read the rest of it to you. Y'all remember? Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I showed that to you. This is the same dude they were posting about. It's no mistake. What was he up to? What was Mr. Carlos up to? Well, here he is taking pictures of people crossing through the river into Uman and the border of Guatemala and Mexico.
Wow.
That's not the proper point of entry.
Nope.
It's a bridge. And he's crossing with the folks. There's more pictures. If you want to go for yourself and look at it, go ahead. But this is from his page. And he tags the city that it's in for you to see. On the date January 2017. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It says Tapachula, border with Tapachula. Aduana Tecum Uman. That's the point of entry, but they're crossing in the river. That's not the right way to cross into a country legally.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me you're not helping people cross illegally? Okay, let's look at another picture. Here is a picture of him with some other people. This time, he's with Emilio Cruz and Canelita Ramirez. And, hold on a minute. I need a drink of something here. Can you show them the date?
Yep.
They're in front of a bus. They're standing in front of a giant bus on January 16th. I had to show you that because every time he finds people that he tags, I'm like, there's people tagged.
Mm-hmm.
This is important. I'm going to show you another picture. And this one, he's posting pictures of the people that were in the standoff with federal police in Tijuana.
Okay.
You recognize that picture?
Oh, definitely.
That's the shelter at the warehouse, Viento y Marea.
Mm-hmm.
And look, he posted this picture to his page on January 5th.
Okay.
Okay? He was with those folks.
Yeah.
Here's a picture that he posted on New Year's. Remember, New Year's is an important date. What happened on New Year's? Why, there was a violent clash with people at the border patrol.
Mm-hmm.
What's that lady doing, Duke?
Dancing.
Liar.
Throwing rocks. Running.
She's throwing something that's on fire, Duke.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it makes smoke. Like tear gas canister, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. And it looked like she would picked it up from the ground because there's other pictures on his page that show that same woman with what looks at like some kind of light at her feet.
Yeah.
Here's some of the other pictures that were on his page that you should take a look at. You can go look at it for yourself, you know. I'm showing you what I found. What is that, Duke? Don't confuse people. Tell them the truth, okay? Because I don't want people to think we're fake news.
No, it looks like a...
Tell him the truth. Tell him the truth.
A gas canister of some sort.
Right. It looks like a tear gas canister that a migrant is holding very close to the camera. And who posted it and when was it posted? Cuevas Ramirez Carlos.
January 1st.
January 1st. All of these were taken on New Year's. Okay, here's another New Year's picture. It's got concertina wire and there's a Border Patrol truck.
Yep.
Same day.
Yep.
Here is another picture.
Up on the hill. I remember that.
There's about 150 people up there or so, or 200. There's a lot of people. Hey, didn't they say it was about 150 people that tried to rush the border on New Year's?
Mm-hmm. He's got a picture of it up close and personal, for sure.
Yep, a bunch of people up there on the hill. Okay, let's look at the next picture. What's that up? We have Border Patrol on the other side of a fence that people are climbing.
Wow.
And this is from the vantage point of someone that's standing behind the wall, behind the people that are climbing over into the United States, and can glimpse the tops of the heads and the weapons of the Border Patrol on the other side. Again, this was posted on Mr. Carlos's wall.
Yep, January 1st.
The guy that was arrested by Border Patrol, deported. The guy that was complaining about some Mexicans that were stopped by Inami on his page just today, just several hours ago.
Yep.
What other pictures do we have from January 1st, from New Year's Eve? There's people that look like they're crying, maybe because they got tear gassed, doesn't it? They're rubbing their eyes. That guy's rubbing his eyes. These look like pretty professional pictures, don't they?
Yeah, very, very well done. And right in there, this isn't a long lens. It's right in with the people.
Shared by him.
To public, January 1st.
And next, we have another picture of the same night. Looks like a bunch of his homies and him are in Tijuana.
Oh.
At night, on Playas de Tijuana, you see the ocean waves behind them. I recognize this big heart with the hands on it from the boardwalk up there.
All right.
Also taken that night, guys.
Yep.
Also
January
taken
1st.
on, yes. Next, I'm going to show you some other dates. That's him. That's his butt. That's his tuchus.
Okay.
Wearing a backpack. And what is he doing there, Duke? He's climbing the border wall.
Yeah.
You see him?
Yeah.
He's on the border wall. He's got some rope there. You see him all the way up there. He's looking back down at someone that's taking a picture of him. You can see he posted this to his own page. He's got a whole bunch of these pictures on his page showing him crossing the border. Literally crossing the border here.
This was December 26th.
Hey, when was that other border crossing?
December 26th.
Can you show me, please, the next photos? This is what the series of border crossing pictures looks like. You see he's taking pictures of other people on the ground, going up onto the border fence, going over the border fence, on the other side of the border fence, looking back at him through the border fence slats, etc., etc.
Wow.
You see them crossing? They're going over. They're going over, so he's going with them.
Yep.
What was that again about nobody from Pueblos Sin Fronteras encourages or crosses people illegally?
Nope.
What was that again?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Did I miss something? And she is this woman from the United States is friends with this guy. Friends with this guy. One of the You think that's a coincidence? You think that it's a coincidence that one of these people that have been accused. Here's another picture of her. Here's another picture of her. Take a look. It's from his page. You see her? Take a look. It's her. It's one of the only other pictures I could find on Facebook anywhere of this woman. Anywhere. Do the search, guys. 2 pictures.
Yeah.
You think that's a coincidence? I don't think so. I think they're friends. And it says, Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hey, Duke, you know when you sing someone the words to the mañanitas, what does that mean?
It means felicidad, happy birthday.
Right, but what does it mean when someone does that for you? Do I sing that for everyone who's on their birthday?
No, it's close. You do it for family. You do it for family. I mean, it's close and personal.
And close and personal friends. I don't go singing that song to strangers.
Just to anybody, no.
Because it's a long song. I mean, happy birthday, I'll sing that to anybody because it takes 2 minutes to sing. But Las Mañanitas, it means something.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just saying, okay? Culturally, that means something that he is personally saying happy birthday to this woman, and he put her picture and he tagged her twice. And he calls her, he says, may God bless you with many years of life. And people also say felicidades to her. And they also know her and they say, happy birthday from all our hearts.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very personal. I think it's very important to recognize this connection to one of the people that are smugglers in this group.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I will show you that he posted about this guy. The guy that got arrested and deported to Honduras, had his permanent residency status revoked.
Mm-hmm.
This guy complained about Irineo Mujica's arrest. Irineo Mujica being beaten up.
Wow.
On September 6, 2018. And he translates an article from, I guess it's from BuzzFeed. It says the Mexican police beat up and arrested a man who organized the migrant caravans. Irineo Mujica is the leader of Pueblos Sin Fronteras. Other organizers, too, were beaten and arrested by police from Tijuana, according to witnesses. This Adolfo Flores for BuzzFeed News. And there's a picture of Irineo Mujica, who is in this photo, picture that he took with himself in the spring when he was with the migrant caravan. He was beaten and arrested in Tijuana on Tuesday, according to the article. I don't know when the article was published. Must have been published sometime around September 6th when Carlos David posted this. So, you know, they all getting arrested.
Yeah.
Question. Folks, you don't have Homeland Security and Interpol and Mexican authorities, federal and state, and the FBI all looking into a whole lot of nothing. Don't tell me that they are just wasting all this time and resources because this is some kind of witch hunt. I don't buy it. I think that these people are protesting a lot because they know they have everything to do with this investigation into human smuggling. I'm going to bring you more of the people from this list and of the people that are working to manipulate and abuse people in the migrant caravan here on a Mexican Crossing Lines. Thank you for being with us tonight. Buenas noches.